Good morning, friends. Let's begin together with a prayer, and then we'll dive into our piece of music today, which is the Invocation to the Woodland Devas, which is a very interesting piece and one that opens up a discussion that we don't always have, but that can lead to some very interesting discoveries. So let's begin together. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, dearest friend, beloved God, great masters, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Lahiri Mahashaya, Swami Shri Yukteswar, beloved Guru, Paramhansa Yogananda, saints of all religions, our friend Swamiji, humbly we bow before all of you. Guide us today, bless us with the deeper awareness of our closeness to the astral world. Help us to commune inwardly with your light, with your joy and wisdom, and help us to be receptive to those influences flowing from you and through your instruments into this world and into our consciousness. Help us to cooperate with nature, with universal law, to bring about our own greatest happiness and the happiness of all. Om. Peace. Amen. This song that we're going to sing together today has been a fan favorite of mine for a long time, because this was actually one of the first songs I sang as a solo piece. I was a part of a summer drama camp when I was about 10 or 11 years old, and we did a production of A Midsummer Night's Dream. And to begin the performance, I came out and sang this song. And as it happens, I was playing King Oberon, the King of the Fairies, and it seemed only natural that, of course, we would start the show by singing this song. And it only occurred to me quite a long time later that Shakespeare didn't write this and that this was not actually a part of the play. But this was written by Swamiji. But it fit so perfectly in the context of that play and the role and everything that it took me a long time to figure out that they weren't synonymous. But at any rate, this is a delightful piece of music, and one that I have sung and enjoyed, and actually had some, it has been the catalyst for some very interesting experiences, which I'd like to share with you. And it's also very short and easily memorized, and I encourage all of you to do so, and to just make it a part of your daily life, because it's a delightful piece that can also really transform the way we look at the world and the way we go through life. So, here it is. You Devas of woodland, of mountain and field, come shower on us blessings and light. The wonders that nature befriended can yield, reveal to our hearing and sight. Your melodies whispering joy on the air, affirm that God's everywhere. O Devas of woodland, of mountain and field, be with us in blessing this night. It's very short, sweet, to the point. And this is a part of a longer piece, this is the invocation to the Woodland Devas, which is often followed by sort of its sister melody, the Woodland Sprites. And I like to think of it that we get a response from the Woodland Sprites, and normally it's a flute that enters in and plays variations on the melody which the vocalist introduces. And then actually the flute is also joined by a cello at the end in this glorious duet that's just really sweet. Now, if I were a Deva, which sometimes I wish I were for varying reasons, as I'm sure all of us do, but if I were a Deva and I had 8 arms and 2 heads, then I could play all of those parts, but I'm not, at least not now. So we'll have to content ourselves with my narrative of it merely. But so let's actually just sing this song one more time because it's so short. And now what I invite you to do is actually take this song at face value. Let's really just enter into it as an invocation. Meaning, as we sing this together, now that you've heard it once, sit up straight with me and sing it with me if you're able to. But if you're unfamiliar with the lyrics, just listen to it, but mentally say these words along with me and try and feel that in this very moment, you are inviting the Woodland Devas to come be a part of your life, to come be a part of this world. And let's see if we can't actually feel a little bit of their response, just as we would hear it if there were a flute player here with me to continue the melody. So we might not be able to hear it with our physical ears, but perhaps we can feel it with our hearts. So let's sit up straight this time and let's make this a real prayer to those astral entities, to God's inspiration flowing through them. You Devas of woodland, of mountain and field, come shower on us blessings and light. The wonders that nature befriended can yield, reveal to our hearing and sight. Your melodies whispering joy on the air, affirm that God's everywhere. O Devas of woodland, of mountain and field, be with us in blessing this night. And let's pause for just a moment and feel inwardly at the receiving station of the body, the heart center, and see if you can feel just a glimmer of their response. See if you can expand your awareness outwards from your heart to embrace nature around you. Even if you live in a busy city, somewhere there stands a tree. Above you spreads the sky. And through that sky will fly a joy-filled bird, perhaps. Nature is all around us. We are a part of it. Om, peace, amen. It's very sweet. Yogananda says that God smiles in the flowers. And especially in springtime, which if you're living in Palo Alto like I am, springtime seems to always come a little bit early or earlier than I expect. And the flowers and blossoms are beginning to pop their heads out of the ground and out of the branches of trees. And I try to remind myself that that's God smiling in those flowers, and that there are devas in the astral plane who are responsible with making flowers beautiful and making their colors shine and grow and develop. And it's very interesting that, I don't recall if it was Swamiji or Master, but one of them said that the devas, the higher astral beings, which inspire men and which inspire the world and help it to be harmonious and full of light, are withdrawing from this earth because of man's lack of appreciation for them and lack of invitation for them to come and participate. That if you were to think of it's a very understandable thing, that if you were offering and giving and helping contribute to somebody's well-being and they never appreciated your work, or they never even recognized you, or maybe even they tried to enslave you or chased you away or denied your very existence, eventually you'd say, well, they very clearly don't want my help, and it would be presumptuous of me to force it upon them. Perhaps I will leave and come back later. And so the Devas, so it's said, are withdrawing from this world, and that is a source, that is a cause for great tragedy in our hearts, because the Devas, the higher astral beings, can inspire us and can give us a glimpse of the astral world which we've come from. And that, we at Ananda are trying to recreate on earth a memory of that astral experience that we all had in community and in communion with God and higher astral planes. And we're here rebuilding what we've done before. But we need that help. We need the inspiration of the Devas. It's so incredible that you can really begin to feel the presence of these astral beings if you tune in and if you ask the question, are they present? And if you invite them into your life through a song like this. And then it's very interesting that Swamiji wrote this. And it's called the Invocation to the Woodland Devas. It's not just an acknowledgement of their presence, but it's invoking them to be with us. That's the entire song, is just recognizing them and inviting them to come shower on us blessings and light. And what's incredible is if you go to Ananda village in springtime and you go to Crystal Hermitage Gardens and you witness there the 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 tulips, whatever it is that they're planting now, you can feel the Devas celebrating in that beauty and in that joy. And you'll feel yourself inspired because God is there. God is smiling there in those flowers. And when we cooperate with the higher astral beings, they can help us in so many ways. I had the great good fortune of growing up at Ananda village, where gardeners, for example, or farmers would not just be applying themselves by modern agricultural techniques, but by invoking the Devas and by trying to enlist the cooperative assistance and inspiration of God flowing through those lawful instruments. And my own father was one such man. And it was always very interesting to me that he could seemingly by his touch things could grow where perhaps they shouldn't be able to, or they would blossom and expand and thrive where perhaps others wouldn't. And in part, I think it was because he was trying to do it in harmony with God, in harmony with the Devas as instruments for that divine inspiration. And as a coincidence, he loves this song, and he always asks me to sing it. And when I travel to Yosemite, which is one of the great jewels of this country, I believe, it's an incredibly sattvic and spiritual place, I sing this song when I go into those sacred mountains, because you can feel there the presence of these astral entities, and they can inspire you. And life can be so much more beautiful if we're living in cooperation. Interestingly enough, I have to just say one quote from Swamiji, which has been a source of constant wonderment to me, which is that he said, we should show kindness, compassion, and mercy to lower life forms than ourselves, be that animals or even trees or things like this, because he said in turn that draws to ourselves the blessings and the benedictions of the higher astral entities. That's very intriguing to me, very intriguing. And I have experienced some of that. It's very interesting. Now I'm going to tangent just a little bit, but I think you'll see it has some pertinence to this song. As a practicing astrologer, my role is to meet the vibration of the planets, to meet the consciousness of those vehicles of God. Each of the planets are like Devas. They might not be woodland Devas or mountain Devas as invoked in this song, but they are a channel through which God's vibration flows. And when I am able to get in tune and in harmony with them and invite them consciously to cooperate with me in the construction of my life, then all life becomes a little bit more harmonious. And through their agency, Master, God, can flow and can touch me. And I can more sensitively listen to the symphony of my life's karma and step with it rather than against it. And so I think this song has a lot to teach us and can give us a great inner experience of harmony with life and the sense that we are not separate, but that we are a part of. And that not only are we a part of, but that we are like a little child being guided through this great adventure called life by so many helping hands, by so many willing and joyful friends. That's what the Devas are like. So now let's listen to the melody together on the cello and just appreciate what that melody has to say. And then we'll take a look at the lyrics together a little bit more deeply. It's a very interesting melody to me. It has both power and sensitivity and sweetness in it. That's the sort of reprising theme that we come to. That opening phrase has a lot of strength in it. That it's no sort of, it's not just idle words. When that's the beginning of the invocation, you Devas of Woodland, that the melody seems to have confidence in what it's doing. And then it moves onwards. Again, with sort of a real understanding of its own confidence. But then later, it has a really nice, beautiful sensitivity. I'm going to play that again. And when we partner that with the lyrics, we can feel this like sweet aspiration for a higher understanding and for a subtler communion with all life and with God itself. It's a wonderful melody. And then in the song, it would go back to that strength of in a way, this song can teach us how to pray. If you were to listen to this melody and try and understand what the feeling it was invoking in the heart, and the confidence, sensitivity, the wonderment, the awe, and then if you tried to learn to pray like that every day whenever you intone God's name, you might learn a thing or two. So now let's take a look at the lyrics together. You Devas of woodland, of mountain and field, come shower on us blessings and light. The wonders that nature befriended can yield, reveal to our hearing and sight. Your melodies whispering joy on the air, affirm that God's everywhere. O Devas of woodland, of mountain and field, be with us in blessing this night. Isn't that beautiful? Now, an interesting thing that you would have to read it to see it is Swamiji capitalizes the word nature, the wonders that nature befriended can yield. And I think he's capitalizing it because it's an aspect of Divine Mother. It is Divine Mother. All of nature, all of this creation is Divine Mother. It can be nothing else. If we can only learn to hear her voice behind all creation, to feel her love, to feel her presence, then the wonders would be revealed to us. So, but a few things that I want to highlight. Come shower on us blessings and light. Why wouldn't we want that? I'll take 2. Double portions, please, of blessings and light. That would be wonderful. And then your melodies whispering joy on the air. Affirm that God's everywhere. Wouldn't you love to step out of your door and hear the flight of birds and the song that they sing as a reminder of God's presence? To see in every smiling flower your divine beloved? That's what this song is invoking within us, and asking not just that we grow into that, but asking for the blessings of these higher astral entities to encourage us and to coax us to that awareness. Because no man can rise by his own self-effort alone. That, as the common expression in America goes, you can't lift yourself up by your own bootstraps. No matter how hard you pull, you won't fly. But by opening ourselves upwards and cooperating, that's exactly what we can do. We can learn to fly. Perhaps literally eventually, so the saints say, but more importantly in our own hearts and in our own consciousness. So let's sing this together now that we've taken a look at the words and the melody. And let this be a prayer, an invocation, one done with confidence and power, but also with sensitive wonderment and a curiosity, an openness to discover just what God has in store for us. We'll sing this twice through. You Devas of woodland, of mountain and field, come shower on us blessings and light. The wonders that nature befriended can yield, reveal to our hearing and sight. Your melodies whispering joy on the air, affirm that God's everywhere. O Devas of woodland, of mountain and field, be with us in blessing this night. You Devas of woodland, of mountain and field, come shower on us blessings and light. The wonders that nature befriended can yield, reveal to our hearing and sight. Your melodies whispering joy on the air, affirm that God's everywhere. O Devas of woodland, of mountain and field, be with us in blessing this night. And let's take a moment together and just feel inwardly for the effect of this song in our hearts and in our consciousness. And see if you can become open to receive the blessings of the woodland Devas of mountain and field, the Devas of the distant stars, the Devas of music, of poetry, of kindness, the Devas of dance and laughter. And let's just invite them to be a part of our lives. We know so little. We know so little. But if we open ourselves in the right way, and if we pray to God with sincerity, we can learn so much. And all I think I'll leave us with is let's wonder, what would it be like to live, to dance, to meditate, to pray, to love, to work with the awareness, as one of my other favorite songs of Swamiji says, that you live not alone, but that you are a part of this wonderful expression of God's consciousness, and that there are higher astral entities, much like bigger brothers or big sisters, who are just like you, but perhaps a little bit older, and who are trying to help you, and who can inspire you, and who can be an instrument of the divine blessings and inspiration into your life. What if that were true? I think it is true. And also, how wonderful and how beautiful could our world be if we all consciously invited them back? And I think we have a responsibility to do that. Our world could easily swallow mankind. And as I think Swamiji wrote, shake us like a flea off of her back if she wanted to. We think we're so mighty, but this world could destroy us in an instant, in a multitude of ways. We should learn to cooperate with her. We should learn to be conscious, cooperative roommates here on this great planet, and invite back the Devas to make this place beautiful again. And there's so much darkness and chaos and strife in the world. Let's be a source of light. Let's invite them to come back, and let's combat the great terrors of war and hatred with light and beauty and appreciation for God's wonder everywhere. So let's sing this song this week, and let's bring that light and the blessings that the songs invoke into our lives and into the world. So until next time, my friends, thanks for joining me.